Music is a universal language, yet the idea of playing an instrument often feels like a locked door to many, intimidating and distant. It's easy for some to think that learning how to play an instrument requires either an extraordinary amount of natural-born talent or a seemingly endless amount of hours poured into honing the craft. This misconception leads to people becoming discouraged from pursuing their true potential and oftentimes giving up early or not giving it a try at all. If I had to guess as to why this was such a common occurrence, I'd say that the most probable reason is that people are simply afraid of making mistakes. What the majority of people with these fears don't realize is that messing up and making mistakes are inevitable to getting good at anything. My name is Rockwell De La Rosa. I'm currently 20 years old, and I've played the drums in music groups for the last 7 years of my life after teaching myself pretty much everything I know. I'd say I've almost seen it all. I've rehearsed, recorded, and released original music, not to mention being able to perform it alongside big artists on big stages. It's been an eventful journey so far, but it certainly did not come easy. I never had access to formal music lessons as a kid. I was able to learn the violin and the upright bass growing up, since those were the only things my public school system had to offer that interested me at all. But none of that was ever my passion. I wanted to be a rock star. I wanted to be like the people that played the music I loved listening to. My first problem was that I had no idea where to even start. My dad had played drums and bass for some rock bands growing up, but he also taught himself and wasn't exactly a great teacher. He had a drum set at the house, but I didn't even want to touch it, out of fear of making annoying racket, or even worse, breaking something. I'm not sure how the conversation went down, but my parents suddenly started guiding me towards my affinity for music. Maybe they decided they wanted me to pursue a hobby early on in life, or thought it'd be cool for me to follow in my father's footsteps. But either way, I was fortunate enough to be given unrestricted access to a drum set and a guitar. Learning to play both guitar and drums on my own felt like learning a new language. I felt like I knew absolutely nothing, and quite frankly, I didn't. I would look up tutorials on YouTube on how to play my favorite songs, but even just reading the chord names was like trying to decipher hieroglyphics. I did these seemingly pointless exercises to train my fingers or sense of rhythm, and I thought to myself, I will never be good at this. Doing it this way, at least. Being the impatient and naive adolescent I was, I tried to skip all the basics, watch how my favorite artists played their songs, and try to recreate them all by ear. By some stroke of luck, I actually got the hang of playing both instruments much faster that way than the traditional route. It felt more natural, almost, despite being a suboptimal method of learning music. I listened to songs over and over to pick out the little details, and somehow that helped me understand all the theory after going back and connecting the dots. After seeing my first bit of decent progress, I had a feeling that I had just unlocked a whole new realm of potential for myself. Throughout middle and high school, I met many other like-minded musicians in the same boat of wanting to become a rock star. Whether it was through shared classes, mutual friends, or word of mouth, getting to meet new people and play music with them has reaped the most rewarding benefits I've ever had. On top of making my socializing experience much smoother growing up, having the opportunity to drum for different groups changed the way I see music in many different ways. Being able to break out of just drums and guitar and see how each instrument accompanies an entire song inspired me to create my own music, playing all the instruments and even getting myself to sing. At this point in my life, I felt like my identity had gradually changed over time, and for the better. I was more or less known as the drummer / one-man band guy around my area, and I felt like I had found my true calling. Was it silly to think such a thing so early on in life, and with realistically little achievement in the grand scale of things? Yes, but I do know for a fact that I was, and still am, a passionate musician at heart, and always will be. As time went on, my progress and discipline as a musician had increased tenfold, arguably to a near professional level. With this, alongside networking, came many new experiences and even more connections. I was able to hit the road, play some pretty huge shows, and make a ton of new friends and fans. Looking back on all the memories I've made on tour or in the studio, I always find it endearing to reminisce on where it all began. I've come to realize that music is not just about playing the right notes at the right time. What seemed like an insurmountable wall at one point became a wide-open doorway to self-discovery. Each sour note, wrong chord, and accidental stick drop were all pivotal in shaping the person I've become today. They taught me to embrace imperfection and to not be afraid of being adventurous. Every time I hit record at home or sit behind a kid on stage, I'm constantly reminded that the best part of the journey is the journey itself.
We love you guys. We love you guys so much.